Hey everyone, I'm going to show you how to use Atsign AI Architect's MCP connection to build a secure by design blueprint for an enterprise agentic system. For this demo, we're going to use the example of an IT help desk agent. But before we generate any code, we're first going to define the architecture, permissions, and security boundaries first. And I'll give you my requirements to those in just a little bit. So here's my setup. On the right side, I have Atsign AI Architect, and on the left, I have Claude. And I've already connected the two together using a custom MCP connection, which gives Claude live access to the visual architecture canvas. But instead of just asking Claude to generate code from a loose prompt, I'm going to ask it to help create a blueprint directly in Atsign AI Architect with my requirements. And now I'm going to tell Claude that I want to build an IT help desk agent using Atsign AI Architect to build a blueprint. And what I'm going to do is just grab the session ID from Atsign AI Architect and include it in my prompt to establish the connection between the two. Now I'm going to describe the agentic system I want to build in Claude. The important thing is to not just say, build me an app, but to describe the roles, the systems involved, the data boundaries, and the security constraints. For me, I want to build an IT help desk agent that receives employee support requests, searches approved knowledge bases, creates tickets, notifies employees, and escalates sensitive requests to an IT admin. It also should not access HR, payroll, or unapproved external systems. It should also require human approval before credentials resets or high-risk actions. For the sake of this demo, I'm going to use Claude 4.6 on Medium, and I'm going to also establish the connection on Atsign AI Architect to make the bridge between the two. And as soon as it's green and connected, it's good to go. There you go. Okay, and now Claude is creating the blueprint inside Atsign AI Architect. And this is where it's entirely different from prompt-only development because the architecture is actually visible before any code is ever generated. I'm just going and allowing all to the actions in the MCP server because it's my first time booting it up, but nodes should start populating soon. There you have it. We have our employee node, our IT admin, and then what's next? Oh, the IT help desk agent is up there, which is really the core to my entire system. It even added a knowledge base, like I asked, a ticketed management system, notification services, a human approval gate, and it even added my access boundary node. Okay, and now you'll see connections are starting to be made between all my nodes. And this is just how the interactions will happen between all the actors in my system. So there's a bunch of different ones, and they all connect back to the AI agent because that's the central one. And they also interact with each other. So for example, that ticketing management one and the notification service sends employee notification statuses, which makes sense. And there you have it. Then it's going to start validating to check whether what it populated makes sense with what I had asked initially in my prompt. So it's going to go through its validation to make sure that it did a good job. Okay, so now we can actually review the blueprint before anything ever gets built. So we have our IT help desk agent in the middle, and it can receive and classify incoming employee requests. It can search the knowledge database like we asked, but it cannot access HR, payrolls, or any unapproved systems. And all the communication paths are explicitly defined. So the agent is not just improvising how it's going to interact with everyone. We've defined all these connections. And this is what secure by design means in practice. The agent's roles, permissions, data access, escalation paths, and trust boundaries are part of the architecture right from the get-go. Okay, so I'm happy with my blueprint. Let's export the prompt. So I'm going to click Export Prompt, and I'm going to copy it to my clipboard. And I'm going to use VS Code as my IDE, but you can use Claude Code or whichever one you might be more comfortable with. And inside VS Code, I'm going to open the chat, and I'm going to put the agent into plan mode. So I can ask it to build me a PRD and a project plan. And I can use this to share with my CISO or my security architect so they could see the permitted data paths, the agent authorities, the approval requirements, and the communication boundaries that Atsign AI Architect has put into place. And really, between the three of them, between the blueprint, the PRD, and the plan, we help reduce security debt because the team is not just waiting until after the app is generated to discover what the agent that we're building is allowed to do. Okay, so the PRD and the plan look good. I'm going to change the agent from plan mode to agent mode, and we're going to start building out the MVP. So we're going to get our first app booted up to see what exactly this looks like. Let's play with what we've designed so far. So here's what the app looks like when it's first built, but I'm just going to try the demo so we get a quick look and feel of it. And I called it the atHelpDesk. And okay, so we have a ticketing system. Right now we could see a couple of ticket requests. One is resolved, some are pending, some are open. If I toggle on, it gives me the timeline. And in the pending, it escalated to IT admin for approval. That's good. That means that the security boundaries that I created are in place. I can also create a new request. So, oh, cool. It added some quick fill, password reset for my account, new laptop requests, installing VS Code. It's a big one. VS Code is sometimes a pain to get up and running. And you can pick a category. Obviously, you can add a summary, a description. And then for the IT admin, this is where you would either allow or not allow certain atsigns or people to access. So in this case, Alice is requesting elevated admin privileges on the development server to deploy a hotfix. Maybe we trust Alice. Let's pretend we do. And Bob, no. There you go. So I've cleared all my pending approvals and in updates. This is basically just like a history of everything that has happened. So you can see the request that we just denied and the request that we just approved. That's really thorough. Okay. And obviously, this is the first build that I've done from VS Code, and it can be iterated on from here. Share it with your team before it ever even makes it into prod. That's very cool. And there you have it. AI coding assistants can help teams build faster. But with Atsign AI Architect, we help make sure that you're building the right agentic system with security, governance, permissions, and communications boundaries designed right in from the get-go. And with Atsign AI Architects, you can bring your prompt, generate a secure by design blueprint, review with your team, and use it at every step of the way to guide development. So bring your prompt and try Atsign AI Architect today.